New Pinnacle rewards are inbound next season. What's going on, Guardians? Today is Wednesday, November 21st, the day before Thanksgiving in 2018, and we have got another issue of the Bungie Weekly Blog this week at Bungie dropping for you. We're getting it a day early, of course, because of the holiday tomorrow, and this one's actually got some really interesting incoming information about some new Pinnacle weapons you'll be grinding towards when the season of the Forge begins next week. That's right, in this week's TWAB, we learned from Sandbox designer Victor Anderson about some brand new Pinnacle weapons coming to activities in Season of the Forge. We're going to be getting 3 of them to be exact. And for those of you who don't know, Pinnacle activities refer to weapons like the Redrix's Claymore, Redrix's Broadsword, and the Luna's Howl, the Not Forgotten. Those Pinnacle weapons, those top tier weapons that are tied to quests within certain activities. Of course, PvP right now, but with Season of the Forge, we're getting some of those attached to other game modes. It's definitely been a cry from Guardians out there that they want Pinnacle weapons for like strikes and Gambit and stuff like that, and that is exactly what we're going to be getting. Let's take a look at them. We're getting a Pinnacle weapon for the Vanguard titled the Loaded Question. This is going to be a high impact fusion rifle with arc damage. With each of these, we're going to learn a little bit about the weapon and then how exactly you'll be able to get your hands on it. And as usual, when it comes to Pinnacle weapons, these are going to have unique abilities tied to them. For the Loaded Question, its unique perk is Reservoir Burst. When the battery is full, your next burst deals additional damage and causes enemies to explode on death. Which is a really interesting ability for a fusion rifle to have. So when your magazine is full, you're going to deal extra damage and you're going to cause targets to explode. Now, depending on what type of explosion that is, that could make this thing really good for clearing trash mobs in PvE. If the explosion itself is, say, the size of like the Firefly explosion for the Ace of Spades, this thing could be really good at clearing up rooms. And it's definitely an interesting and unique ability for a fusion rifle. But how exactly are you going to get your hands on the Loaded Question? Well, thankfully, they've listed out the quest steps here. First, you'll be picking it up from Commander Zavala, of course, and then you'll need to complete the following objectives. But all of the progress for these objectives can be completed simultaneously. You can complete multiple objectives at once. You'll need 500 fusion rifle kills in any Striker Nightfall, 1,000 arc kills in any Striker Nightfall, and then finally 40 Strike or Nightfall completions. Once you're done with all those, you can head back to Zavala to receive your fully masterworked Loaded Question. Meaning you Guardians out there who love to run strikes, you're going to have your hands full with this one. Although the steps there don't seem too bad. Running 40 strikes, that's a big number, but you can get that done within a couple of days. Next up, we're getting a brand new Pinnacle weapon for the Gambit game mode. This is definitely one a lot of Guardians have been asking for. We're getting a new auto rifle titled the Breakneck. This is going to be a precision tier auto rifle. Of course, in the kinetic slot. That means it's going to be a 450 RPM class. This weapon's unique perk is Onslaught. This weapon's rate of fire increases as you stack Rampage. This is actually a perk we knew about before. It was one that was added in during Forsaken that was data mined a little while back. Based on the way the Rampage perk works, it looks like your weapon might be able to increase its rate of fire up to 3 tiers. Which is actually a pretty powerful ability for a precision frame auto rifle. They go on to talk a bit about some of their inspiration for the weapon here. And basically, they wanted something that was going to work well in both PvE and in PvP, since of course Gambit is a fusion of those two game types. And I would say they definitely hit the nail on the head. The Onslaught perk sounds really powerful. And so long as this thing has decent stability and you can mix it with something like a Rally Barricade or a Lunafaction Rift, this could be an actual top tier choice in some elements of PvE and maybe even PvP if you get lucky enough to stack up Rampage. Not bad at all. But anyways, here's how you can earn the Breakneck. Of course, you'll be picking up the quest from the Drifter, and then you'll need to complete these objectives. 500 auto rifle kills, 100 auto rifle multi-kills, 150 challenging enemies defeated, and then 40 Gambit matches completed. Once you've completed all of those objectives, head back to the Drifter to receive your fully masterworked Breakneck. Now, just like with the Vanguard step quest, this actually doesn't seem too hard. Auto rifle kills and multi-kills isn't going to be too difficult if it's counting kills in Gambit. The only really tough part there is completing 40 matches, which if you're solo queue can be a little bit of a headache. Finally, we're getting a new Pinnacle weapon for the Crucible. This one titled the Mountaintop. It's going to be a new kinetic lightweight grenade launcher. That's the single shot grenade launchers. And I have to say, I'm appreciating the reference there. Of course, veteran Guardians will remember the name the Mountaintop. It was the name of that super hard and long questline from Lord Shaxx way back in Destiny 1. That ultimately resulted in a rocket launcher that wasn't worth the trouble. The Hothead. It was kind of a reskin of the old Dragon's Breath. Really wasn't great. but hopefully this mountaintop can beat that one. Its unique perk is going to be titled Micro Missile. This weapon fires in a straight line and has a massively increased projectile speed. And in addition to those benefits, the projectile instantly detonates on the environment instead of bouncing like a traditional grenade launcher, unless you have sticky grenades selected. But there we go, that's the new Crucible Pinnacle weapon, the Mountaintop, a lightweight kinetic grenade launcher that's really unique in the world of Destiny 2. Right now, the only kinetic grenade launcher we have is of course the Militia's Birthright, which is the Nightfall exclusive reward for the Lake of Shadows. And while I like the ability of Micro Missile, I like that it fires in a straight line and that it's way faster than other grenade launchers, I kind of have to wonder how it's going to work in PvP. We know it has the sticky grenades option, but does it have proximity det? If it's got proximity detonations, then this thing could be a real contender. If not, well, we'll just have to see exactly how effective this thing's going to be. Now, what do you have to do to get the Mountaintop? This one is unfortunately probably going to take you a little bit longer than the other Pinnacle weapons. It's got quest sets for both comp and the quick play playlist, but several of the objectives here can be completed in either playlist, though you'll get more points for completing them in comp, which I think is a nice change of pace when it comes to these PvP Pinnacle items. But anyways, here's the quest steps. For step 1, you'll need to reach the glory rank Brave within a single season, which is simple enough, it shouldn't take you too long even in comp. For step number 2, each objective will earn you progress per action in any playlist, but players can earn substantial bonus progress by completing these objectives in the competitive playlist. In the Crucible, earn Grenade Launcher Final Blows for a total of 750 points. Non-comp playlist kills will be worth 3 points, comp playlist kills will be worth 10 points, which means if you're doing this in quick play, it's going to take you about 250 kills in order to get this quest step done, while if you're playing it in comp, it's only going to take you 75 kills. This step shouldn't be too bad. My advice here would be grab the colony and just go ham in PvP, whichever game mode you want. Next, you'll need to rapidly defeat 2 or more opponents for a total of 200 points. Non-comp playlist double kills are worth 2 points, and any subsequent kills after double kills are worth 1 additional point. So if you get a triple kill, you'll get 3 points. Comp playlist double kills are worth 5 points, and subsequent kills are going to be worth an additional 2 points. So if you get a double kill, it's going to be 5 points. If you get a triple kill, you'll get 7 points. If you get a quad feed, you'll get 9 points. Meaning at bare minimum in non-comp quick play playlists, you'll need to get 100 double kills, while the bare minimum you'll need in the comp playlist is going to be at least 40 double kills. You can really see the difference there and how it'll be much faster for you to get this done within the comp playlist. And again, I think that's a great compromise without forcing people to jump into the comp playlist every step of the way. Alright, and finally, you're going to earn calculated trajectory medals for a total of 100 points. For those who don't know, calculated trajectory refers to this. In a single life, defeat 3 opponents with grenade launcher final blows. An appropriate final step for this mission. Quick play kills are going to be worth 1 point towards this, while comp kills will be worth 4 points. Which means you'll need to earn at bare minimum 100 calculated trajectory medals in quick play, or 25 of them in comp. Finally, step 3, you'll need to reach the glory rank Fabled within a single season. And there we go, doing all that and returning to Lord Shaxx will reward you with the Mountaintop Kinetic Grenade Launcher. That last one's going to be a lot of work, so hopefully it winds up being worth it. But there we go, Guardians, those are the new Pinnacle weapons you have to look forward to when the Season of the Forge begins next week. And that's pretty much it for the biggest bits of news within this week's TWAB, but there were 1 or 2 other things that I wanted to cover. It is a very special giving time of year, and right now, purchases of the Destiny 2 Bungie Foundation pin between now and December 31st will have their proceeds donated towards the direct release efforts to support those affected by the California wildfires. So if you'd like to help with those efforts, you can purchase this pin directly from Bungie's web store. There are a lot of people and Guardians affected by the ongoing wildfires, so anything you can give would help. Additionally, we're getting a special Bungie Store Black Friday sale, where you can earn special in real life and in-game swag when you purchase any number of products on the Bungie store. For more details, check out the TWAB itself. We'll leave a link to it in the description box below. And finally, the last thing I wanted to talk about today is that we are getting another entry into the Destiny comic series, the webcomic. This one is going to be titled Cade's 6. It's going to be a multi-part comic about Cade's unlikely quest in the Reef. If you're a fan of Bungie's webcomics, Part 1 of this will be released on November 29th, a few days after the Season of the Forge begins, so make sure you're tuning in there. We'll have a link to all that kind of stuff down in the description box below. But alright Guardians, that is pretty much it for the biggest bits of news in this week's TWAB. Some really interesting stuff there with Pinnacle weapons. I'm very happy that that's a concept that Bungie's expanding on, and I'm really hoping they wind up being powerful weapons that are well worth the grind. But there we go, that's the news, those are my thoughts. Be sure to leave me yours down in the comment section below. I wish you all a very happy Thanksgiving. We've got a lot to be thankful for over here at Planet Destiny. And so I'll start things off by saying I'm thankful for all of you. Thank you guys so much for watching. But that's going to be it for this one. As always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.